So here's the laser cut crossbow. It's probably the final version. So it's got this overhead support here. So when you put a bolt in, it holds it in place so it doesn't fall out when you tilt it sideways. It also makes sure that the cord stays on track when it's firing. I'm not 100% happy with this zip tie situation up the front here to hold the bow in, but it works well enough. So it's got a self-resetting sear mechanism. So you see in there, you can see that the cord is being held back by a little shelf. When you pull the trigger, it fires, and it resets back to the position ready to latch onto the cord again. There's two springs in here that are made of stainless steel windscreen wiper inserts, so they're easy to get hold of and the dimensions don't need to be super precise. But there's one in there that resets the sear back to the right position, and then there's one that adds some springiness to the trigger, so you don't need to manually fiddle things back into the correct position to fire again. I made the bow a little bit taller so it can handle repeated bending back and forth. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, how that turned out. Relatively safe. This is just some bricklayer's line, this stuff. It would probably work with a wide variety of stuff. It is fairly sensitive to the thickness of it because it has to fit in this groove and has to engage on that little shelf in there in the sear. But you know, I'm happy with that. It's fun to play with. I can fire a range of bits and bobs. Ear cleaners, cotton buds, Q-tips, a fun option and relatively safe. So in terms of improvements I'd like to make, I would like to get rid of these bolts and use laser cut plywood pivot points, but that would mean making everything much bigger to support the bigger parts, because you can make a relatively good laser cut plywood axle with like a cross, and then the outside of the cross is the circle about which your thing pivots, but it moves less freely and is much chunkier. Maybe if I made a bigger one, like one like double the size of this, that might be an option, but that's not too bad. Okay, bye bye.